I am more comfortable holding this microphone in my hand compared to putting it under my chin. I really don't like it. So I'll be speaking with it like this, and hopefully the quality of the audio will be still good. So you're probably on this video because you want to know why I started my solo marketing agency, and especially why I'm ending it. And my goal through this video is to share with you my journey, is to share with you my mistakes, the money lost, the time lost, the rejections faced, but also the skills acquired and the clients closed. I mean, these little bits of success. So throughout this video, just for you to know, I'll be looking at my screen from time to time because I've written my bullet points, the bullet points I wanna talk about during this video, and I've also have a timer here just to make sure that I don't speak too much and that I just stay concise. Okay, so let's begin. Well, I'll start with what got me into marketing. I still remember precisely that day where I was on an online forum, an online group. It was hosted by a guy called MJ Timarco, the writer that wrote the Fast Lane book. I don't know if you know the book, but if you don't know, check it out. It's a good book. Okay. So he's someone in whom I had trust, in whom I kind of believed his lessons. And in this forum, I still vividly remember an ad that was saying this. The ad basically said something like, I will teach you how to sell websites for 10K per month and live independently. That's what he said. And I truly, truly, truly believed in that ad because I trusted the forum in which I was. And when I click on that ad, I still vividly remember the copy of this person. The copy was so, so good that it really convinced me that I was able to learn web design skills and build websites for people and become financially independent. He sold me his course so well that I was 100% convinced. And when I clicked on I want to learn more about this, he told me that the payment, the screen told me that the payment to enroll on the course was, I think it was a thousand euros or something like that. And at that time, because I had just finished school, I just started working, I had some money left, and I was like, okay, the money I'm getting from work at that moment at least, it was not very much. It was 1.8k per month. I wanted more. When I compared 1.8k per month with 10k per month in the coming 6 months or in the coming 12 months, and I just had to pay a 1k payment to get to that place, I was like, fuck this thing, I will do that. So I was really, really ecstatic when getting into marketing. I paid my course, I started learning the course. He taught me about web design, like the technical skills behind it. I specifically learned about designing websites with HTML and CSS. And I was pretty happy of spending a huge 1k in a course. This is something I had never done in my life. And I was really believing that I would become rich. Few months passed by. I had learned how to design websites, and now it was time for me to prospect. By the way, the course I bought was called the Fox Legend Program, if I am not doing a mistake. But anyway, I'll show you on the screen what it looks like and what was the name of the course. So yeah, 3 months later, as I had learned how to design websites, it was time for me to prospect and get clients. So here was the idea. The idea was to reach out to people in my close circle, like friends, family, cousin, to see if they were interested people. I reached out, I did that, but my close relatives are all working. None of them has kind of a business. So I said, okay, my close circle won't be paying me, but at least I'll be having some portfolio projects with them. So that's what I did. But now, how do I get paid? How do I get my 10k per month? His idea to get clients that weren't in your close circle was through email marketing, which is you go and you find a source of leads, you put them like on an Excel file, and you just send them emails. And that's what I did. I remember in the early days sending around 5 emails per day, and I still remember my face and how I felt inside when sending emails to strangers. I saw myself being insulted by these people, like, fuck off. Why are you writing me? I just saw myself in such bad situations, in such, like, I saw really negative feedback coming. So I didn't last very long writing this and sending these emails. And at some point, I kind of believed that maybe my web design skills were not enough. So this led me into a second web design phase, a phase in which I started learning web design again because I realized that people that were kind of more skilled in web design than me were getting clients. I was like, okay, I wouldn't, I wouldn't. So I relearned web design. I learned how to design websites with systems like WordPress. It was a lot easier than HTML and CSS. It was a lot faster from my perspective, and it took a lot of time and money. Again, I don't remember how much I spent, but I spent around 500 euros on that thing. Okay, so that's money going. And at the end of that experience, I remember telling myself, okay, now I am more skilled. I can now get back into the market, and hopefully people, prospects, will see me as an interesting partner and work with me, and I'll reach the 10K. That did not happen. I emailed marketed using Instantly. I remember sending around 30 emails per day. I sent like 1,000 emails. I got like no response. I remember at a certain point doubting whether emails were working. So I asked for help, in the group. They were like, send more emails. They were like, personalize your emails. When you're beginning, it's kind of hard. So I understood their feedback in the group. I mean, when you buy a course, usually they propose you a group in which you'll be exchanging with people that are also following the course. When applying their feedback, it wasn't really working for me. And this is the most difficult thing when you're beginning and when you're just so fresh into a thing. You just get lost. Even the advice you get, you can't really apply it easily. So I tried my best to apply it, but it didn't work either. So at the moment I felt that email marketing wasn't for me, um, I stopped. I started calling people, and this was kind of the worst decision I could have ever made. Taking my phone and calling prospects, because boy, the answers you get directly, like straight into your face, are so hard. You'll be calling someone who'll be like, fuck off, never call me again. And at the end of the day, after having like 20, 50 calls like that, you feel like your life is worthless. It was really, really, really hard. So eventually, my prospection didn't work, and I decided to take a break because I was feeling burnout. Email marketing didn't work, uh, calls didn't work. I even tried ads at some point. I just burned my money. I was feeling lost. I was like, come on, I spent 1,000 euros to learn this thing to get to the 10K, but this thing isn't working. What should I do? I was feeling burnout. So after months, or after like few weeks or few months of break, I came back on this project, this 10K project, with a new idea. My idea was maybe the product I'm selling is too commoditized. Maybe I should add something more into the product I'm selling so as to look more interesting, you know? And why I'm thinking about this, of course, I'm seeing people in my group uh, just making money, closing clients, selling SEO, selling websites. I was like, why the fuck am I not closing people? was reading what they were doing. I was kind of doing what they were doing too, but I don't know why I wasn't successful as they were. So what happened next was I decided to learn SEO, and this was hard, like really, really hard because I had never done SEO. But I believe that maybe if I learn SEO, now clients will see me as somebody interesting and they will want to work with me. Maybe. So I did that. Did I spend money to learn SEO? No, because there were already resources shared by people in the group that were really good and that I could apply. So I used those resources, I applied them, and I just started learning SEO like that. It took me about 3 weeks or a month to learn how it works. And it's during that time that I'd had kind of a recommendation from my inner circle of somebody who might be interested in the services I was providing, digital marketing, just having a presence online and making money out of it. So I was super happy. This was kind of the first person interested and ready to pay money for my services. So I got this person at the phone. Okay, is he someone that was recommended by my cousin to come and work with me? And I still remember this sales call because this was kind of my first sales call. Oh boy. I remember going through the template through the sales calls template that I had learned. Like, okay, what's your goal? What's your objective? Why are you struggling at the moment? And at the end, just kind of, okay, for this thing, uh, I don't have a price yet, but the budget will be around this amount to this amount. And he was like, okay, okay, okay. And a few days later, I came back with him. I came back to him with the price, and I closed my first project at around 500 euros. Yeah, that was my first project. I was so happy. I was so pumped up. I was like, okay, 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 okay. I have done web design, I have learned SEO, and now I'm getting clients. Okay. I was so happy that I paused on prospection and I started working on this project right away. I worked on it so well that this person, this first client, went from somebody that was invisible, I mean, online in his town, to the top three on Google within 3 weeks. Made him the website, did all the SEO technical stuff, and like every week I was sending him reports, asking him how does it feel with the project, and when the results started accumulating, when he started showing on the first page of Google, I was so happy for him and I was sending him messages. So eventually I got paid the 500 euros. I was so happy and I had a lot more energy to prospect. So I got back into this prospection phase. This time around, I was really decided and determined to not give up and to just continue prospecting until I get clients. I define myself minimum actions per day. You know, for example, if I were to send emails, I would send at least 50 emails. If I were to do phone calls, I would do at least 15 phone calls or 50 phone calls. I define myself minimum actions. And I quite remember that on emails, I was sending at least 50 emails through instantly. I had campaigns that I had programmed. And on phone calls, at the end of my day job, when I had the energy, I ran like 50 phone calls or 30 phone calls. I don't remember the exact number, but it was around 30 to 50 phone calls. So during that prospection season, I sent around 5,000 or 8,000 emails. I ran around 400 cold calls, and it lasted for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, but still no result. I was like, what the fuck? So this discouragement started kicking back again. I didn't feel good. And again, I thought maybe there's a skill I don't have. I thought that maybe the product I'm selling is not interesting enough. Maybe I have to add something on top of the SEO and website I was serving. So I decided to learn how to add automations into businesses. For example, when you book a meeting and you receive automatic reminders, these kind of things. Or for example, when you call somebody, he hasn't picked up, and automatically you receive a message from him like, sorry, we are busy, we'll get back to you soon. I'm talking about automations like that. So I started learning automations. I learned a lot of automations. I learned automations that could help businesses have a lot more of 5-star reviews on Google Maps. I learned automations that could call people and I won't say convert people, but qualify them. Like, are you interested in this service? Yes or no? And according to your answer, the AI behind the automation will be doing all the work and speaking with you, of course. I don't automations that could send you messages if you ever called me and I couldn't respond. We'll send you a message just to let you know that I am at the moment busy, but I'll be getting back to you and that I'm interested in working with you so that you don't go to the competition. And I've built a number of automations. I've used it. And after doing that, I believed once more that, okay, I've learned a new skill. Clients will be interested into me. Clients will be interested into the services I'm providing. But that was wrong. That was wrong. I started producing content like every day for weeks. It didn't work out. So at the end of the day, I would say that prospection was my nemesis. I would say that converting strangers into clients was my fucking nemesis. I couldn't get above this boss level. I couldn't crush this boss. It was so hard for me. And I don't count the amount of money spent into this. I think I've probably spent nearly 10K on all this training, all these softwares I bought, all these things, and all this time I spent learning how to get to 10K per month. I think I spent nearly 10K or even more. At the end of the day, I just realized that prospection was for me the nemesis. I couldn't get the hang of it, and that's why I failed consistently. So this brings me to the second part of my video, which is just the mistakes and the false beliefs I had. I think that throughout my story, you have noticed elements, actions, behaviors that I had that were not helping me to succeed, I guess. When analyzing my journey, I've realized that one huge false belief I had was thinking that paying more courses, paying expensive software will help me gain money. But that was so wrong. I paid the 1K course to learn how to web design. I paid a lot more courses or softwares to learn how to run SEO, to learn how to do better web design, to learn how to do the prospection and all of this stuff. But never, or at least rarely did I take the time to learn actually how the methods work. To actually learn the methods taught in the courses and apply them really, you know. Ask for feedback, absorb the feedback, apply, ask feedback again and absorb it. I never took the time to do that. I just believed that giving money will help money come back more. That was my false belief. Another false belief I had was thinking that taking huge action and just hoping that things will get right will help me get results. So it'll be like this, it'll be like this, it'll be having a break of 1 week, doing nothing, getting back more energy, and just in the next week, launching for about 3 weeks a huge campaign during which I'll be prospecting people and be hoping things will be working, but it won't just work. The hardest thing about hoping to see results fast is that when results don't show, you just feel discouraged. And that's how I felt. In my mind, taking huge action was equal to see results. But life just taught me that, boy, sometimes you will take huge action and you won't get the results behind it. So this pretty much discouraged me a lot and many times. Another false belief I had was I expected this journey to 10K to be kind of hard but doable, because I believed myself to be a hard guy. Never did I imagine how mentally and emotionally difficult it would be for me to run cold calls, to do prospection. It's mentally really challenging. And reality just slapped me once more, and I couldn't make it. But what I hated the most in all of this experience, and in all of these marketing courses, this marketing industry, what I hated like the most is that when these people sell you courses, they tell you that you'll be having huge support, that you'll be having a support team around you to help you 24 on 7. They'll be literally telling you that, but my experience is different. I'll be honest. It's very different. When I got my first web design course in the group, I remember sometimes really struggling with things, asking help online, asking questions in the forum, but getting no response. And when you are beginning, when you're a newbie like that and just beginning and asking for help and getting no response, it's so easy to stop. It's so easy to just stop doing this thing and forget about it. So I don't really think that their 24 and 7 support is true. For most of the courses I got later into a school community of a guy who sold the same thing. It was just bullshit. There is no 24 and 7 support. I hate these marketing courses who sell that because I have not experienced that, and therefore I believe that it is not true. I just hate it. One other thing that I hated is, there'll be a lot of people that will be saying, if you follow my plans, you will get this amount of money. Like the ad that I saw in the Fastlane forum on beginning this 10K journey. This guy sold me his course so well. I mean, so freaking well that I truly believed it. Maybe it worked for him. Why not? But it didn't work for me. And I just regret foolishly believing 100% that if I followed his plan, I will become rich. That wasn't just true. It wasn't just true. And it's not the only one. There's this school community I got into. A school community, I think it's called Scaling Lab or Scale Academy, whatever. And it's the same thing. People will propose you a plan. These plans won't be actionable because it will require you to take these huge steps that somebody who is having a 9 to 5 job can't execute. And they'll be telling you something like, if you execute this huge plan yourself alone, you'll get the money. I don't fucking care about your plan because I can't execute it. It doesn't work for me. I can't run 50 cold calls per day. I can't, create every day one content piece while sending cold DMs, while doing this and that. I cannot do that. So the plan you're telling me isn't executable from my perspective because I have a 9 to 5. So there are all these things. When I see them, I won't believe in them and just realize that they were bullshit. I just hate it today when I see people saying it again. That was a lot of hate coming out from my mouth and from my gut. Anyway, now it's time for me to share with you what I've learned throughout this journey. And it's quite simple, okay? What I've learned are the following things. Number one is you want to set deadlines and not be in a rush. I repeat again, you want to set deadlines for your goals and not be a rush. For example, you are getting into a new course. The course tells you that you'll be able to reach X result in this amount of time. Okay. When you get into the course, side notes, you want to check whether they have a guarantee or not, so that you can check whether the course is truly working for you or not. But when you get into a course, give yourself a goal. I want to be making 2K applying the knowledge I've gotten from this course in 2 months. Give yourself a deadline that will push you. However, when you get like applying the course and don't get the results right away, don't be discouraged. I mean, you are discouraged because you are in a rush at some point, and at some point things are actually more difficult than you believe they are. That's lesson number one that I have learned. Lesson number two that I have learned is always measure, always measure your actions. One thing on which I failed consistently, especially in my early days, it was not measuring the KPIs of my website. It was not measuring the KPIs of my prospection efforts. Like, I'm sending a blast of mails, 500 mails. A number of them were getting open, which means that my headline might have been working. However, after reading the mail, I was having no response. So probably my copy wasn't working, like the body of my mail wasn't really working. So the idea I want just to share with you is, if you constantly measure your emails, or at least if I had constantly measured the actions that I was taking, I would have probably been able to tweak things for improvement. Probably, like really probably improve things a lot faster. But I was in my feeling, I had these beliefs in my mind that if I take huge action, no matter what, results will follow. That belief was false, and it led me to nowhere. So yeah, always measure. Always measure the result of your action. Okay? The third thing I learned was to plan, review, and improve. So this circles back to measure. You will plan something, you will execute it. After executing, you will review. What do you review? You review the measurement of what your action created. The third thing, or at least the fourth thing that I have learned throughout this journey, will be that prospection will be your starting point. It will always be. If you are starting a business and you want to make it big, prospection will always be your starting point. So just have that in mind. Be cool with it. You will prospect. And one last thing that could be helpful for you is, when you're getting into courses, think about guarantees. Think about guarantees. Like, for example, if this thing doesn't work for me, how do I get my money back? I've lost money like that on things that were not really working. So yeah, despite the amount of money lost and the amount of time lost into this journey, there are some important skills that will serve me for my lifetime that I've learned. Okay, one of the important skills I've learned is web design. Today, I will know how to design my own websites and design websites for people around me. For example, during this summer, my sister is organizing her marriage, and I have designed the website that will be helping more than 400, nearly 500 people to organize themselves for my sister's marriage. Okay, really important skill. Another skill I've learned is SEO. I have seen how powerful SEO was for my client, because he finally landed top one in his town with the skills that I had with my services, and he closed a few months ago, around 2 new customers, and he will keep on closing customers because now he's at the first page of his town and people just see him. So this skill is important and can bring money to people. Another skill I've learned is automations. So tomorrow, for example, if needed, I'll be fully able to set up automations for my personal uses, for friends if necessary. Automations about anything. You're having a task that you feel it is boring and you want something to do it for you. Set up a robot, let it go for you. I've learned that. Okay. So this brings me to the last point of my video, which is what I'll be doing next. I'm stopping this marketing agency because I feel like I have to stop it. It has been running for 3 years now, and the project hasn't been working really. Now what? What do I do? What I plan doing for the future will be creating a channel. I'll be creating content and mainly focusing on content. I won't be selling courses anymore. I won't be selling, not courses, but my services anymore because I believe that I have to learn more about prospection before prospecting. But I will really focus and put a lot of my effort into creating better content, to creating great content. My content will be about the habits I have that I think will help people, and will be about creating just a community of like-minded people living in Europe, living in France, Belgium, or let me tell you, living even in the world around me. Just building this big online community. That will be my goal. So yeah, this is the end of this video. Thanks so much for your attention and see you in the next one. Goodbye.